pretty specialized service on that day. Okay, so what's your job then to do? You can start now for all I care, but by April 3rd, anybody in the church that's working needs to have the books purchased and get ready to start by April 3rd. They can start earlier, I don't care, but we're not going to celebrate them until June 26th. Okay, because the first one's being celebrated is going to be the staff, because we want to show by example that we're leading the way. All right? So does everybody understand what your responsibility is for me to help me out? It's to make sure that by April 3rd, anybody working under you, around you, near you, help me out. Make sure that you let them know, hey, man, we need you to jump on board with us. We're excited about what God's doing. Explain just the passion. We're wanting to advance you, and we'll start you here and get excited. Who knows what God has for you? And then if you want to explain a little more, maybe like you might want to advance and go into the deacon studies, and that's up to you how you express that. We'll do our best in the school of ministry to commercialize it as the months go by, to give invitation to people, whether it be through probably a lot of handout stuff and then announcements in the church to present it. Okay? And then the next one, obviously September 25th and December 18th. Now, why I didn't put by April 3rd, have this done? I don't know why April 3rd is in June 26th, by the way. That shouldn't be there. That's just a duplicate thing. So don't worry about that. But because once we get through the first phase, there's probably not going to be as many. And so we're just going to have to, this is going to have to be one of those things where you're continually being aware. You need to continually be aware of who you're over, of who's coming in new. So you might want to get in the habit of keeping a log book or a log section about who's working in your ministry. That way you can look, and every day that, because from this year we're going to have these dates set up, and then next year we're going to have these dates set up. And so we're always going to be doing this. Every 3 months we'll be celebrating our school of ministry. Every 3 months from now on. Unless something changes our growth pattern, our structure. But right now, the way it's working is every 3 months there'll be a cycle of celebration for the ministry. Now, like I said, on one Sunday we may celebrate armor bearers, and the same Sunday celebrate someone who's graduating deacon, someone celebrating graduating pastoral, someone graduating elder, all in there. And it may be a little bit different on each one what we do, but it'll all be on those days that we're celebrating. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. I think that oh, right here. Please note that all students who have completed deacon, pastor, and elder studies will be acknowledged on these dates. Okay. Next, let's go to the next one. I think we're coming to the end, close to the end, if that was the end. Okay. That is it. So just remember that if you're in a department head position, then basically your requirements are to go through the books. Okay, which would be deacon and pastoral books. Now, why I want, here, let me explain so you can understand. Well, pastor, why would you waive the other two for an elder but not me a pastor? And I'm going to tell you why. Because the deacon books are what I'm going to call foundational books for the pastoral books. And so I do feel it is necessary from personal experience going through them that you need both. Now, if you have already gone through some classes, and you say, Pastor, I've gone through the classes, then we'll basically meet with you and Michael Boone, and we'll sit down and say, what have you gone through? And whatever you haven't gone through, we'll ask you to go through. Okay? Because we want you to be an example. It's pretty simple. We want you to be an example. And it may be to your disadvantage that you didn't go through the same books I went through, because I went through all these. So, sorry. You may say, doggone, I went through a bunch of different books, but we want you to be an example. Remember, that's the whole thing. We want you to be an example. We want you to be willing to do what you're going to ask your people to do. Okay? Now, here's the end result. I'm done. We're done. Can you see with me, I hope it's not just me envisioning, dreaming. Can you see with me how potentially powerful this could be for this work in this church? I'm going to open up, as I end, I'm going to open up with, I'd like to see what you see. I know what I see. I know I get excited thinking, not necessarily right now, but the future, what could happen as You know, I think of let me give you an example. I think of my daughter. I think of Langston. I think of these kids that may not be leaders at all right now in the sense of department heads. But what if this my daughter has already said, Dad, I want to go through these books. Well, she doesn't have a desire to be a quote leader, a sub leader, or anything. But she got excited. My own daughter said, I just feel like I'd like to know more about God and the Bible. And so I thought, wow, this isn't just for department heads or potential servants and entitled people in church. This is something that your son may say, you know what? I want to go through this. I want to be trained. I personally think there'd be nothing probably more exciting me more than to find out all the youth said, we're going to go through this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude, I'd probably spend a week lying on my belly in my office and never get up. Because it's really not about titles why I'm doing this. Why I feel like we want to validate, we want to, but it's hopefully creating a hunger for knowledge. A hunger in this house that people realize we're students. Oasis is about learning. Oasis is about learning. Oasis is about learning. Oasis is about learning why to be effective. Not just in ministry, but be effective in my walk. And if we can accomplish this, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be so pumped. I'm going to be so excited. I think personally, I'm going to challenge my youth ministries to get your people inside them. Hey, why don't you go through? Well, I don't want. No, not to be a leader. You already are one. You just don't know. But why don't you, just for knowledge's sake? I personally believe if you can get teens, wow, that'd be something. We haven't talked about this. If we can get teens to invest financially, by one at a time, you got 5 years to do it. There's no time limit on you. You're not the department head, or even if we could get our kids to just start. Wow. What if it caught a hold of him and Levi got so pumped that he did it in 6 months? I'm going to march Levi across this stage. And I'm going to award Levi and say, Levi, you need to know something right now. Should you ever decide to work as a department head in this house, you are now validated by Oasis Church, by Pastor Steve Finney and God himself. And you are now validated to everybody in this building. Come on, everybody. I'm with you.
Amen.
Jesus. Wow. I can see so much. What do you think? What's your thoughts as we end this tonight? What can you see? Maybe you'll share something for me that I haven't thought. What do you see the potential of happening out of this in this house? If you don't, that's okay. But I'm curious, do you see anything that could possibly come out of this that could help this or benefit this that I haven't seen?
Well, I'm sure you've seen it, but besides people being validated, we'll also have quality leadership. You know,
That's
not
right.
just that they'll be motivated or that, you know, they'll have actually earned the title, but they'll actually have gone through training and they'll be, you know, good quality leaders. They should be.
That's right.
And then also, you know, I think it could get people more geared towards going out from ministry, you know, raising up ministers and getting them to go out. So we would
Wow.
have good leadership here and we would be sending them out there to reach more people.
Well, because the truth is that this morning, the Lord, I feel like the Lord dropped the thought in me about planting other churches at some point. Well, how can I do that if I don't have people really prepared? And I wasn't even thinking about the Levi's or the Showies or these other, but wouldn't it be incredible if some of the young people, young adults, that we find a place we feel like God puts in our heart to go. And I don't want to, honestly, when we plant churches, I don't want to be real close to each other because I don't want to compete. I want there to be a spirit of competition. That we could say we want to do it, but it unfortunately happens. And so we want to be real careful, be real prayerful about that. But wouldn't it be great if we could, there was someone that's gone through this and they didn't have time to go through the call of God's evident in life, they're passionate, they've become validated. Wouldn't that be incredible to take one of those people and say, well, listen, you may not be a pastor in this house, but would you consider pastor in this church? We're going to start over here. And then we back them, we support them. I may even have to have Eddie cover. Eddie covers for me, he goes there and help and for a while, you know. But wouldn't that be cool if out of our own ministry, we could begin to raise up missionaries, evangelists, pastors? I personally think that you're right. I think this has that capacity to do just that, to prepare and raise people up, not only for here, but for other ministries. Because you know as well, if you don't know it already, if you've ever had to do any training at all for your career in any way, shape, or form, I've done so many things. It's probably stupid. I've held licenses. I've held the fire, casualty, auto, life, NASD securities, real estate, loans. Stupid. And all the money and time I spent. I'm not doing any of them now. It's kind of funny, but let me tell you something. Going to the training was amazing for my confidence. It's amazing for my confidence. Even after I became some of these licensed things, I would still have to go through training. And they made me pay for it, which was even better. I understand now why they did it, but some of these things cost me $1,500, $2,000. I had no choice. They said, you're going to work here. That's what you're going to do. You're going to go educate yourself. You going to pay for that? No, you're paying for it. You better save some money. And I'm like, holy smokes. Well, I knew they were doing it. Obviously, an investment. Obviously, if you pay for it, you'll pay attention. You'll make sure you're there on time and all that different thing. But it was powerful. I'll never forget going and sitting in these conferences and feeling like I was somebody. That may seem so small. Maybe no one else has that issue. But for me, it just made me feel important. It made me feel, man, I'm something. I matter. I mean something. You know, I have some knowledge. And obviously, if you're in the business world, you've heard it once, you've heard it many times. What is knowledge? It's power. I mean, and there's a truth to that. Knowledge is power. And so when people start getting educated and start getting knowledge in them, their self-worth changes. And when their self-worth changes, even the way they present themselves changes. It really does. The way they dress changes. Right. The way they act changes. Everything about them changes. And so I personally believe with all my heart, and this is where my young adults down, to my teens especially, I'm really going to push for this. And this is birthed out tonight, by the way. I really wasn't much thinking about it. But I think we should make a push for these students and teens to begin, and even parents investing on their behalf, you know, helping the students do this, because I personally think with all my heart, we might see a revival take place amongst teenagers. They start getting the word in them. Holy smokes, man, they start getting leadership principles taught in them, and then talking about it and realizing that, wait, it's not nerdy to do that. Everybody's doing it. There's just no telling what can happen in this house. Yeah. Well, we just kind of went a whole different level, different area tonight. We'll talk about, man, I got excited about that. Thinking of Levi and Shelby, really. The fact that Shelby even approached about it blew me away. And so, wow. Anything else you think could or we might see or surprisingly might see? Or do you just want to comment about something we've already said? If not, that's no big deal.
I think we, is it okay if I say something?
Yeah.
I think we just need to remember that the school of ministry and what Pastor's vision behind it is a tool. I mean, a tool is only as its value and worth by it being used. And us using this and what he's put together, I mean, it is going to magnify everything for our church. I mean, it's going to give structure to every single ministry that is within this house. Anything that somebody, you know, hey, Pastor, I want to start this. Well, you need to make sure you've gone through school of ministry. You need to make sure that any constituents, anybody that's going to work with you or have any level of authority has gone through this. I mean, it is going, like, when I really felt like this has been a year in the planning. I know a lot of people don't see that, but I mean, when I first came back, and Pastor had mentioned it just one Sunday because he was like, oh man, this is what we're going to do. And I went up to him and I told him that this is what's going to boom our church. Like, I know there's a whole bunch of things going on, but this is going to give the structure that we need, because like Jenny said, this is going to provide quality leadership and quality people, because people actually taking advantage and taking ownership to their calling, that it's going to transform them. I mean, it's going to change their responsibility and their mindset that this is not something that I'm volunteering for. This is something that I'm actually going to invest my life in. And through that, our church is going to be blessed 10 times over because of all the people that are going to take part in it. But it's only going to be as much as any tool as any handyman goes in and picks up the wrench. If he doesn't use it, that wrench is still going to sit there. Does that mean that the use and worth of that wrench is going to go away? No. But when he uses it, it does the job that it was made to do. And what Pastor Steve has done has made us one of the greatest tools that God could ever give to a church to use. And when we use this and we make sure that the people that work under you and however we're going to do in the future, it is going to change everyone's mindset about.
I think that you're right, and I'm going to say something that's pretty bold. I don't know if you remember, I shared this with Michael when we first talked about it. I personally believe this is going to revolutionize what churches do. I know that sounds arrogant, it sounds bold, but I personally believe that as this gets going, the results that come from it are going to literally be desired by other churches. I truly believe it. I think that churches are going to say, what in the world are you doing? How are you? We're going to be able to send someone like Michael to their church and package a program for them and give a presentation and say, here it is. Here's what we did. Here's how we started. I personally believe this isn't just going to be, I don't know if you remember talking about this, I believe it's going to be something that's marketable even to the church world. I really do. And I think I think we have two different ministries going on or getting ready to be launched here that are potentially going to impact our country. I know that sounds crazy, but I think it'll catch on. And it may not be everywhere, but I think it's going to eventually become where it's website driven, where you can offer something in a package form, not necessarily to be purchased. I mean, you may do something to cover cost, but just information to churches that are suffering and struggling. The other one's going to be the Challenge of 12. I'm telling you right now, when I get that Challenge of 12 working in the vision that God has given me, that's something that I'll be able to sell. The churches do it all the time, and there's nothing out there like it. I'm telling you, I've searched it. There's nothing out there. God gave that to me, and I believe we're going to see ministries like this not only benefit our house, but are going to benefit the kingdom of God. Now, if you don't know, we purchase stuff that churches have invented. You don't know that. It's for children's ministries and all this stuff. I personally believe that the Challenge of 12 is a ministry that's going to help fund our ministries. I'm telling you, once you hear it and you see how it's designed, I believe it's going to be incredible because it's going to take the watchers to become players. That's what the Challenge of 12 is. We're talking about being strategic again. That's what that ministry is. So it is exciting to think about what's ahead. Boy, Mike, we got to talk about the teamwork. The kids getting involved.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I believe right now, if we could get someone like Levi, I'm not saying he's please don't take this as a bad kid, but he's not really connected. I'm telling you right, you get a guy like that, one of those kids, give him some purpose. There is no telling, not only would it make connected to the vision again, but what it would do for his life spiritually. It just flat out excites me.
I think stuff like this would help people like Levi get connected, not just by doing it, but like when Michael was talking, I was thinking about how, who wants to go to a nurse practitioner or a doctor who's just had experience, who's just been doing it for a while? No, you want somebody who's been through training.
That's what it used to be.
You want somebody who knows what they're doing and they've studied and,
Right.
they know what they're doing and they've had experience.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think the credibility just, for people to, you get somebody up there, and they don't even know basic Bible stuff and, and they're a leader. And it's like, people like Levi, there's no, all respect goes out the window. He wants to know that the person leading him knows what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Which really is a big reason why, one time, we're doing this with everybody.
Yeah.
But I'm even thinking about, we're kind of going beyond we're at our end, but we might even create a scholarship program where we start to raise funds and budget, maybe talking to our finance committee, and put this aside so that we see a young kid that's really wanting to do this, and then we present them with and say, we're gonna scholarship you and pay for your books to go through this if you go through it. That would be cool.
Yeah. That does sound really
Make
cool.
them write an essay of why they want to do it.
Yeah, something, anyway,
Something.
and we might come up with, now we're talking a little bit different, guys. I got my dream machine working now, so
Yeah.
what about this?